right? There we go. So hello, everybody. Welcome to our tips and tricks coffee break for SAP Business One. So today we have Simon Lamothe with us, who is a consultant in our consulting department, and he's going to be covering managing document numbering in SAP. So thank you, Simon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Go. So today we'll cover document numbering series. Usually we cover this in the beginning of an implementation. It's normal for a little reminder for everyone to help out. Sometimes you'll need to add some over time. So today we'll cover how do you get to the form, the document numbering form. How do you apply authorization, and we'll cover a little example together. So quickly, we'll go into SAP. I'll close this off. So document
And just a sec,
numbering.
Simon, I'm just going to
Yeah.
remind everybody too that you've got the chat box down at the bottom or the Q&A if you have any questions.
Yeah, we'll be happy to answer them. So if just to get there, you'll go through administration, system initiation, and you'll have document numbering. I separate document numbering in two different sections. You'll have the business partners in one particular section, and then the other transactions themselves. Why do I split them up? Because if we go into business partners, when you do add a prefix, it is included in the number of digits and into the actual number. So if you use transaction, the prefix is on the side. It's something that is a description. So you can have multiple, an example here, you can have multiple business partners with the same sequential number. Because the prefix is included in the number, the SAP system will identify as different numbering series. Compared to transactions, you cannot have the same numbering even with different prefixes. The system will still say that you're overlapping. So that's the main issue, the main difference between business partners and all of its transactions. So if we go here for document numbering, you have your name, the first number, the next number you will need. The last number, generally, if you need to add a new one, you select, right click, add row. So we can just add a test. There we go. And then we can say my first number is 200, example, and my next number automatically will be 200. And I can say, well, I just need it for the next 500. So I can say my last number is 7. I can add a prefix. I can say, well, certain, so it could be for prospects. So I can add a generic one just for prospects. And here you would have a group. So this is very, it's important for authorization. Generally, when you create one, it'll assign group one. But we'll see in our example later on that it's good to have just different groups for the transactions that you want confidential. And the number of digits, this 5 includes the prefix when you're under customers or vendors. So the C is included in the 5. If we close this, I do not. It's important also to realize that if you do an update, you have to update this form here for your particular transaction and the numbering series form. If not, nothing will be applied. So here in the AP invoice, it's a little different, but you see there your number of digits is not there because it's all numeric. As I said before, you can add one. So here we can add a new, and let's say we'll call it pay for AP invoices, and we want to start at 10,000, example. Automatically, it'll assign it, and I can say, well, I want it at 50,000. So I can add a prefixes if I need. And lock. Usually when we do an implementation and locking, we always lock journal entries. Why? Because especially in the production side, so when we are implementing and we're not go live, we want to stop any journal entries, any transactions in the system in production. So that is one of the methods we use to really stop anyone from both sides from doing any error transactions before the go live. And the group. So here I would say, well, I want pay. As an example today, I want group 30. And I can either lock it, I will leave it, and I will update. And I will press OK and update here. For the authorization, you will find it under authorization. So if you go to authorization, system is initialization, authorization, general, and under the users you would like to give access to. So today will be, let's say, manager will have access to everything, but let's say Bob. Under general. And sorry, administration, system initiation. You'll have numbering series here. So for Bob, we can give him access here for the document numbering right here, and we'll do update. Also for numbering, some clients would like, or some companies would like different reps to have their own customer for their own numbering series. So we can go in and we can say, we can create our own, add row. We can say Bob. The numbering we would like him to have, 5,000 to 8,000, example. We can add Catherine or Isabel, so a little shorter. And we can have here a prefix for B and one for I, an example. So they will have their own numbering series. And when we go to set as default, we can do for certain users and for all users, but for certain users. There, that means when Bob creates, let's say, an AR invoice, automatically his numbering series will pop up automatically. If we go back to our example here in AP invoices, double click here, pay, I will assign it as a default for my user. There we go. Update. How do I know it's a default? If I go back, it's in bold. That's okay. Don't forget to update the document numbering series here. Okay. Now, if I go into purchasing, AP invoice to create a new one, automatically here, I have my numbering series pay 10,000 for my invoice. So now I can do pays invoices for my employees. And at all times, I can always switch back to my primary AP invoice numbering series or a manual. I advise not using manual because you know when the next series is. You cannot create an AP invoice with an existing one. So to avoid complications, please use numbering series. It makes everything a lot easier and automatic. Okay. It's good for processes. When you copy from, copy to, automatically, if you have a assigned per user, then the numbering series will automatically be assigned if it's by default. So it makes everything much clearer, much simpler for all users. Okay, I've covered what we needed today. If there's any questions.
Yeah, if there's any questions, as I said before, you can use the chat box or the Q&A. And thanks a lot, Simon. And just while waiting, just to remind anybody who might be new, if you look on the invitation that I send you every 2 weeks for these web sessions, underneath the schedule, you have a link for our YouTube page, which has the playlist of all our past tips and tricks sessions. So sometimes you might be looking for something particular, be it something in accounting or in inventory. If you click on that link, it's quite practical because you have all our past web sessions in there. So, Simon, I don't seem to have any questions here. So, thank you very much. And if you need anything, there's my email, everyone. So, happy weekend, everybody. Thanks a lot, Simon.
Yeah. Have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.